The markets are about to close in 2 or 3 minutes, and let's head across to Neeraj to find out how exactly the closing today is panning out. And Neeraj goes without saying it is going to close in high spirits.
Yeah, okay, yeah, right term to use, to be honest, Navneet. But yeah, 10,903. So we'll, even on post-closing or adjusted basis, we should be, around the 10,900 mark, which is really good news. Sensex 2 ending well. The Nifty bank has participated in a big way. This is starkly different from what the picture was looking like in the morning. So what starts off really does not end the same way. And the mid caps and the small caps too have participated with fair bit of gusto, I would have to say, about 1% apiece for each of the key mid cap indices. What's moving within the large cap universe, though, it's all about banks. Adani Port hogs the list, yes, on the Sensex, and TCS does too. But then look at it. It's banks. ICICI Bank, Yes Bank, Kotak Bank, Axis Bank. HDFC Bank is above about 1% too. So banking all the way. State Bank of India has not participated, so that's a key thing. And the absence of the top loser on the Sensex is Infosys, which is down less than 1%. So lack of losers, banks participating, all leads to a very pretty picture. But I dare say, if you just look at the moves that have happened at the broader end of the spectrum, they dwarf the kind of gains that the large caps have. I mean, 5-10% seems to be the order of the day, Navneet.
That's right, Neeraj. We've seen good gains coming in the broader markets, which bounced back after the weakness that was seen in the last two sessions. Let me start off with Oriental Hotel. That counter was pretty strong right from the word go today, so that's going to be closing around the day's high level. So Oriental Hotel saw gains of between 13 to 14%. Earnings reaction all the way, and Jubilant FoodWorks, stellar set of numbers, beat on all parameters, but it was the same store sales growth which excited the street the most vis-a-vis the expectation of 10 to 11%. They posted a number of 17.8%, closing at day's high. Not only that, it's going to be closing at all-time high levels, Jubilant FoodWorks. Let's wait and watch what the brokerages have to say now about this. ICICI Prudential, another earnings reaction coming. A good set of numbers, and you can see the stock also reacted positively, up 4%. Biocon, on back of that news collaboration with one of the companies, that counter open gap up, but sustained the gains throughout the session, and finally closing with gains of 5.5%. NIT Tech, another company which came out with the numbers. We did speak to the management, and the street gave a thumbs up to the earnings, and the stock finally closed with days high with gains of 5%. From the mid-cap IT space, Scient, that's the counter that we've been talking about, and that closed with gains of nearly 14%. TT Limited was the other one from the broader markets, which registered gains of nearly 12%. Group Finance, remember the earnings come out tomorrow, and the stock has been pretty strong in the last 3 to 4 sessions. Okay, I think it's closed. I don't know if the circuit limit was breached there, but 19.5% pretty much looks like. Alembic Limited was also the other one which was pretty active in today's session. On the losing side, Hindustan Zinc came out with its earnings yesterday. The stock fell post that. Some selling pressure was seen in today's trade as well. Closed at day's low with cuts of 3%. Tejas Network and Jubilant Industries were the other two counters which reacted negatively to their numbers. Dheeraj.
Well, but all in all, sea of green, I think the Nifty heat map will show you. I'm very interested in seeing what the turnover numbers look like in the session today, Navneet. Yesterday was fairly high volumes as well. Let's see what's happened today. But a sea of green there. Banks ruling the roost. We've already established that. Now let's just get the turnover numbers on your screen. And the BSE cash and the NSE cash in particular, yesterday was 41,000 crores. 33, so not bad. The volumes are fairly decent. Above the average of 2017, volumes, yeah. Cash, BSE cash at par, NSE FNO, I think fairly decent in today's session too. And last but not the least, we've spoken about the contribution list, but let's just get the market breadth and the advanced decline ratio. This is the contributors, and we've established how ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank rule the roost. But the market breadth, and you see this move here, it just shows it's a fairly even Stevens. I'm actually a bit surprised.
The trend was changed almost 2 to 3 times today when it comes to the market breadth.
Yeah, it's just been a very choppy day in that sense, but I'm surprised with this advanced decline ratio market breadth. Anyways, this is for the week, of course, and ICICI Bank, HDFC, and when you have banks and financials participating in this way, it's very difficult to have a poor week. 2% gains, but just look at the list of gainers. It's been all about banks, negated a little bit by a couple of auto names at best, Hero MotoCorp and Tata Motors, so to say. But it's a week that will belong to the gainers, and particularly some of the result boys that have come out with some spectacular set of numbers. Anywhere from a Mindtree to a Deepak Nitrite, to a Muthoot Capital, hopefully even Growth Finance tomorrow doesn't disappoint.
For sure not, the way the stocks rallied, otherwise it's going to crack and how.
Yeah,
Just want to add something to it. This week was the week where we saw a lot of buying coming from the FIs in the cash segment vis-a-vis the domestic institutions, and we've also seen some cash-based buying in these financials for the likes of HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, and a couple of IT stocks as well, Nifty, TCS, which have been trading around the 52-week high. So there's some cash-based, delivery-based buying, so to say, call it. So I think the buying which was seen from the FIs largely went into two sectors, which was financials and the IT space.
Interesting. Let's wait and watch what happens going ahead. Final thoughts from our experts. Deepak Shenoy, before we thank you, let the party continue. The question mark only is, okay, so let me ask you that question. Navneet was referring to this point that a bunch of people that we're speaking to are saying that they're sitting marginally on cash or maybe even at a higher percentage. Would that be something that you've done too? I heard you mention that you're not fully invested, but are you in a higher proportion of cash than you have been ever in the last 12 odd months?
Yes, we have been, we've been suggesting to everybody that 60% allocation to equity is all we would do right now. And I'm fine with that because if you remember any of the old times, 2007 end and even 2000, the kind of unexplained moves and the kind of euphoria in the markets started to peak around what we're seeing now. So I'm not unhappy about being substantially in cash. It's okay because I know that at some point we will find great times to buy again, and we'll find more stories to buy. A lot of our stocks are just way above their buy prices, and we'll just wait till they come in, or if they show fantastic results, we'll still buy them at a higher price.
Okay, so those are the closing thoughts from Deepak, but let's also get some technical views from Sarvendra first. What would your approach be on Monday, Sarvendra?
See, I think if this breakout now holds probably, and momentum also kind of slightly picks up, because into this new high, both for the Nifty and the Bank Nifty, momentum has still not been able to confirm and not put a higher high in place. So that might take time, but if you start to stay clear of 10,800, 10,850 thereabouts, I think if we start to stay clear of that, then probably we'll add definitely 200, 300 points on the Nifty on the upside is possible. But as I said at the start of the show, that view is not kind of crystallized as of now. So I think Monday, Tuesday will kind of decide if you want to play that side of the story or not. Or else I think expiry could be really interesting to watch. Last 3 days could be a wild swing either side. And given a preference, I'd say that with the kind of excesses and the excessive reading that we carry, probably we are in for a disappointment. But I think the next 3 days into the next week, which are important to me, I think they would tell you the real story, and if something comes up there. So I would kind of have patience and wait and watch, and take a call on Monday's close.
Okay, so the next week is going to be interesting, as this is also the expiry week. Shrikant, if I can come to you, what would your approach be? Will it be index specific or stock specific?
I think on both the side, traders are making money, because all the smart traders, they are like playing on the on the large cap side. They are doing well, maximum large cap companies. At the same time, Bank Nifty, which is supporting to the market, is very, very positive for the market. If you go through with the option data, then close to 11,000 strike price, there is a huge amount of open interest which is standing on the call writing side. So in case if market breaks this level in the next, I'm going to say 1 or 2 days of time, then the big trouble will come for all those writers. And the open interest is close to some 60-65 lakhs. I'm of the view that we should look for adding long position if there is any correction in the market on Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. And for stock specific also, I think we can keep a mixing of mid cap as well as large cap.
Well, we did see that trend today. The call right is running for cover because there was unwinding seen for majority of the call strikes today. Well, on that note, Shrikant as well as Sarvendra, thanks a lot for joining us today and taking us through your views on the markets.